And I went across there and I called the cattle, and we called them all the way across here. Okay, so here I am on a beautiful blue sky day. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful blue sky day with half the farm underwater. Well, not half, probably about a third. Let me just spin it round. Right. So we got heifers down there. I'm going to go down to them in a minute. We're going to let them into this top field. Oop, there's some heifers. There are where they were until yesterday. Flipping heck. Look at it. Right. Let me tell you what occurred with them. Right, last week I did a video actually, you've probably just seen it. Last week I moved these heifers into another field ready for grazing. It was kind of, you know, I'm gradually trying to bring them back towards the farm and using up the grass as it goes. So I think it was Thursday I moved them. Plenty of grass, and I've got another field with loads of grass in it. They move really well. Look, here we are. Look, here's me moving into that field. If they twig that the gate is open, they might leg it before I get there. Oh, I can feel one touching my bum. Oh, look, they've sussed it. Look, flipping it, look. Too late. Oh, come on. Come on, play the game. Oh, come on. Oh, you're just rude, aren't you? Hey? And you're rude as well. So, that was Thursday. Friday, well, the forecast was storm something or other, I can't remember what its name is. And me and my brother were like, well, it's okay, because we'd opened up all the gates for the cattle to be sensible. Okay, so there's the word sensible and cattle. The two really don't go together very well, do they? For the cattle to, let me stop walking a minute. The cattle to be sensible, as in they had an escape way to go to higher ground. So they would come this way into the fields that were sort of above the flood bit. So that was the logic. Anyway, Saturday here actually wasn't that bad. It was windy, but it wasn't that wet. But Sunday, well, there was obviously the problem. What we're doing is we're getting the floods here from rain up there. So further away it was heavy rain and it was coming down to us. Sunday we realised we were actually in a bit of a problem, because I think my brother went to have a look and they realised what they'd done, the stupid things, had gone, instead of coming back this way to the raised fields, they'd gone to the furthest field and essentially sort of cut themselves off in this field with very little grass and potentially more rain or more flooding coming. So my brother had to finish the milking, and then what we did, we grabbed the kids, we went down the Land Rover. I didn't film any of this. I said to you before, the problem is when you're actually in the thick of something, the last thing you need to do is get a camera out, and it's a bit stressful. I got one picture. So here's the one picture we got of us moving the cattle. It's not very brilliant, but it just shows you it was dark and it was wet. And that was just it. We moved them. I had the boys with me and my brother. My brother went off to sort out another field for them to go into. Well, me and the boys went across the flooded stream, across the field. The water went over the top of all our wellies. I mean, you just got to laugh at that point. Luckily, it wasn't particularly cold, but we were just like, oh, flipping heck. So that was 6:30 on Sunday night. The roast dinner was in the oven. My wife had just finished cooking it. We were about to sit down for tea, because we don't normally eat till quite late. Roast dinner, we had to abandon that, and we all came down. To be fair, the boys are pretty good now. They know I'm very lucky. Do you know what? The best thing about growing up on a farm is you get kids that are a bit resilient and a bit keen to get stuck in. And I'll tell you what, the other thing as well, having them here with me turned something that would be just a bit miserable into a bit of an adventure, because they were prattling around. Jack flipping, when he came back, squeezed his socks over Harry's head. Harry was not happy about that. You end up with these sort of stupid things that they do. Anyway, we moved the heifers up to the higher field where they should have been. But what I'm doing today, So this is a field the cattle have grazed, and surprisingly underfoot it's not bad. There is quite a bit of grass for them, for young heifers. I kind of know, I mean there's only 20, I think it's 26 down here. I know how much grass they'll eat. We can still keep them out a bit longer if we do these higher fields. And the field they're in now actually is quite a lot of grass. So I'm going to let them in here. I said to my brother we'll let them out. Let's just get this open. Let's let them in here. Into the raised field. I hope there's a bit of string in that hedgerow because I haven't got any with me. Lord sod, isn't it? There was some string there. Oh, where is it? Disappeared. I might have to rob some string off another gate because I don't want to leave this here and then it slams shut behind them. Right, so look. It's wet here. This is where it runs down to on this section here, but above there it's pretty dry. They're not desperate for food. They're not desperate at all. That's interesting. 622. Bit of blood on the back of her. Couldn't really see that. I wonder if she slipped a calf. I have to check whether she's in calf. Can you see that bit of blood on her tail? She's either, look, could be cycling or 622. I have to check if she's in calf already. So these are wander on down. Come on. Got to get a bit of string, tie it back to the hedge though. Right, excuse me. It was all in the dark last night. It wasn't easy. Hello. All right. Go to higher ground. There's a fair amount of grass. So this is where the cows came only the other day, and they haven't grazed it down tight. These are all right. I'm trying to be optimistic here and trying to keep the cattle out a bit longer because there's not a lot. If we can ranch them over a big area, they won't do a lot of damage. It really depends what the weather does this week because this is still pretty wet. This will drain out and they'll be able to graze this. Another field over there to graze that I haven't touched yet. That'll be well underwater. But let's go and have a look at the state of the flooding. You know, I always know it's bad when things like that appear in the middle of this field because this is the boundary for the floodplain. And if it's coming up there, I'm also, I just realised there's flipping huge clouds over there. Am I going to get wet? Right, let's go and have a look at the flooding anyway. All right. I'm just walking through here now and it's starting to rain. I might have to go in the cattle shed. Right, so look at this. This is where they were last night. Oh right, this is almost the worst I've seen it. Right, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm getting in the cattle shed because I'm not going to stand here in the rain talking to you guys. Oh. Let's get in here. Oh, old barn. Right. Oh, my phone's going now. Talk to you in a minute. Oh, I heard that was Meadow Quality ringing up about buying some calves off us, CB restricted calves. Do you know what? It was worth me coming in this shed because I've just spotted a load of more maintenance I need to do. So my old man put this shed up 50 years ago. Anyway, I've just noticed, you can't really see with the light, this is completely rotted out, this timber. This is a structural timber. Oh, I could virtually snap that in half. This, look, you see, there's nothing holding this bit here. This bit's all right, I think. But that is literally waiting to collapse. So I'm gonna have to put a new piece of wood on there. I might be able to back it. If I do a quick cheeky repair, I might be able to just whack a bit on and join it either end. Temporary, you know, these temporary fixes are still there 20 years later. But you can see daylight through, look at that, can you see that? Oh, sorry about the mess. Let me just clean my lens. Okay, I've just got my camera on here with a bit of light. Can you see how rotten that is? Basically, it's all rotted in the middle there. The water's come through the roof. There's a hole in the sheet there. It's dripped onto the timber, rotted it completely out. There's hardly any timber left. Look at that. So that's another job. I'm always looking for jobs, aren't I? Because there's nothing to do on a farm. Nothing to do. Right, let's go and have a look at the flooding. Flipping out. I mean, I think it's stopped raining now. What a day. This is unreal. I'm going to show you something unreal. This is, seriously, look, I've been down here many times and said, oh, I think it's the worst I've seen it. But, do you know, this is generally the worst I've seen it, because this field we're going to go to in a minute, I've never seen it flooded all the way across. I've seen it usually does about 2/3, maybe 3/4. This has gone from one hedge to the other, and it backs up from that direction. So to get to this bit is where it's seriously bad. Right, let me just show you. So here we go. Sorry about any wind noise. Right, so I'll tell you what the problem was in a minute. Look, can you see this? Look at that. So that section there doesn't normally flood. So you take a line from that gate there up there, that doesn't normally flood there. So what we got is we've got the entire field flooded all the way over. Look at that. All the way over. Look at that. And that's where I was running those cows through. From there, do you remember I got that cow that didn't want to move, got it from there, took it through that gate there, across there diagonally. That was only 3 days ago. But, so this is my problem, right? What I had last night is I had all the heifers, see where that gate is over there? I had all the heifers trapped in there. They were all over there, and they decided to stay there and as the water came up, they didn't escape, they stayed, and it blocked them all the way across. So let me just show you what I did last night with the boys and me and my brother. We couldn't get across there. That was obviously well out of our league. That was going to be wet all the way across. So what we did, there's a second entrance way, if you like, which they came this way, and I'll show you. I bet that's even worse now than last night as well. Yeah. Oh Christ, we couldn't even consider it. Right, so last night, this is much worse than last night. We moved them just in time. Last night, there's a second gate to that field I was talking about. Let me just zoom over there, right? This is why I like this camera. Look, can you see that little gate there? That's the side entrance, if you like. It's a bit out of focus, but I opened that gate last night and I called them across this field. Now there was already water here, but I walked across to, so the water was probably about there last night, just about there, and I managed to walk nearly to the middle before it went over my wellies, whereas absolutely no chance of getting across the net. And I went across there and I called the cattle, and we called them all the way across here, and they came through. Once we were across here, then we knew we could get them to the higher fields, but it was getting them across there, and that was where I didn't actually I didn't do any video. It would have been a fantastic video to show action stations, you know, but as I said before, it kind of like had to get on with it. Look at it. Again, this is a field that doesn't flood. So that field there and the corner of that one doesn't normally flood, and that is why we were kind of okay thinking we're not gonna have a problem with these cattle, and it turned into a problem last night. It's going to be a while before that goes down. Right, let's go and have a look round elsewhere. I've got to take some pictures. Unbelievable. Right, this is quite deep here. There we go. Look at that. Oh, you beauty. I'm not even going to bother going over there where I put the heifers before, but that was where I took that cow through. Come on, come on, come on. Let's get her gone. Come on. Come on. Come on. So there's woody woodpecker holes up there in that tree, which I was talking about. Look at that. I mean, look at the gate. This is proper farming, isn't it? This is kind of like where you go with farming. It's a kind of game of hope for the best, prepare for the worst, really. You know, we're prepared for this. We'll manage. Worst case scenario, we bring them in, but I think we can get away with keeping them out up there. This is either going to go down in a week and they're going to have a little bit of grass over there, or we're working our way back to the farm up there, which maybe by the weekend they'll be in. I can't tell yet. But it's quite a sight, isn't it? It's almost like a river going through there. You can see the wind blowing the water. Right, I'm going to head back. Can't achieve much more down here. I'm going to grab a bit of string off there, off the post, to tie that gate open. Hopefully it's long enough. Otherwise, I'll have to come back later and do something with it. But joys of living on a floodplain, isn't it? A floodplain that's gradually getting worse and worse. Right. Anyway, update. That's where we're at with the heifers now. Cows are in, heifers are out in higher ground. Keep smiling. Back British farming, crack on. Right, let's get that bit of string. You might wonder why I'm desperately trying to prolong my grazing time with the cattle out, but part of the problem is the TB restricted calves we've got suddenly. We're having to keep the calves on the cows till Meadow Quality pick them up, which is a TB buyer, and it's kind of making it a little bit tricky with having all the extra calves and cows with them. We're a bit short on pen space to take them off, so it is making it a little bit tricky with shed space for these heifers and cattle. So I'm kind of like trying to put off bringing them in for that reason. You know, if we have to bring them in, we've got to bunch up a lot more stuff, because, you know, the extra calves are surprising how much more space it takes with the cattle. We're trying to get rid of them because we just can't keep them all through winter. I didn't even realise the knock-on of the calves, how drastic it would be until you get shut down. You know, we're probably already 300 quid down on the first batch of calves we went. Got another batch next Thursday, probably another 300 quid down on that against the market price we'd normally get for them. Going on through now for another couple of months, we're going to be a few thousand out of pocket. That'll make you feel good. Right, I've got my string, I'm just going to tie this gate open. That's a bit of a lash up. That'll stop that shutting completely. It's not ideal. I haven't got enough string to go. I really want to tie it back to there, so that'll have to do for now. I noticed the cattle, they've gone up to that gate there, look, that's not ideal. I'm hoping they'll settle down out here. I think the problem is, right, what it is I've got some dry cows in with the heifers. Now the heifers will come out here and they won't worry about this field, they'll just go, oh, it's another field. The problem with the dry cows, they already know this field for grazing, but they also know the gateway back to the farm. So I think what's happened is that probably the dry cows have wandered on up to that gateway, thinking they're going back to the farm, and the heifers have followed them. So hence that's why they're all bunched up there, because there is enough grass out here for them. Look, they just need to relax. But like I said, I might end up bringing them in by the end of the week, just because they're just going to tell me they're not happy. The cows are telling me they want to go back. That's quite funny, really. The dairy cows are telling me they want to go back out. They're all stood by the gate going, well, hang on, why are we inside? We want to be outside. Those heifers are up there going, I still want to go back in. Part of the problem as well, we had them back in October, so they kind of know if they get back in they'll have silage and stuff. Oh, they're running back down here. You know, this isn't too wet out here, this is fine. This is alright, okay? They just need to chill. Let's have some sun for a week. So they're just coming back towards me now. I mean, you can see them there, look. I mean, the interesting thing is I wouldn't dream of keeping dairy cows out now, not milking, not lying on wet ground and getting wet udders, and also there isn't enough food here for them. But the heifers, they're a little bit more robust. They got their winter coat on. they're able to stay out all winter until we had decent sheds. My dad used to keep all the heifers out all winter, but he'd get to about December and he'd start putting hay out, which is the time we bring them in. So you see, you can't just leave them out and not give them anything because the grass stops growing. But I know there's enough grass here at the moment for them. Some of them actually have got their heads down. They're just following me because they think, where are we going? Right, anyway, that's enough about the heifers and flooding and everything like that. My life this year seems to be dealing with floods, doesn't it? Quite a few issues this summer, but we're still here. Hopefully we'll still be here for a few years yet. Alright, I'm going back now, leaving these guys behind. Crack on, see you soon.